Amigos, amigas, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Bienvenidos a un nuevo capítulo de No es solo ruido y bienvenidos al que es el capítulo para mí más especial, sin duda, hasta la fecha, ¿de acuerdo? Estamos aquí, lo veis en imagen, con mi cantante favorita, podemos decir, de todo lo que es el metal moderno, y una persona muy especial para mí. Lo hemos dicho muchas veces en el canal y os voy a informar, veis, que esta entrevista va a ser en inglés, ¿de acuerdo? Porque estamos con un artista internacional, entonces vamos a cambiar a inglés. Ya os pido perdón de antemano porque mi inglés no es el mejor del mundo, pero bueno, lo intentaremos, ¿de acuerdo? So, Lena Scissorhands, welcome to No Solo Ruido. Thank you for being here.
Mi español es muy pequeño.
Yeah, but I think you understand. So,
I can understand a little bit of the introduction, so it's an honor. Thank you so much for using such kind words towards me as a musician, and thank you for having me, of course.
it's a pleasure. So, Lena, first of all, I wanted to ask you, like, for people that don't know Infected Rain, I can add that you're not only singing for Infected Rain. You have this Seas of the Moon band too, or is it active, or is it?
No, Season the Moon is not my band. Season the Moon is actually the band of our dear friend and also our producer, Valentin Voluta, which he is also our sound engineer. He created this band back in the 90s, in the end of the 90s. He created this band, I believe, with his brother, which is our drummer. And they've been together in this project. And then he switched musicians and then he just collaborates a lot. So he collaborated with me on many, many songs, which I'm very, very proud of. And I hope we do more.
They are super cool, actually. For people that know Infected Rain and don't know Seas of the Moon, I think it's like super recommended. So,
Yeah.
Elena, for people that don't know you, that don't know Infected Rain at all, how would you describe the band itself? What do you do? What's behind the Infected Rain thing?
Yes, Infected Rain is actually a band from Eastern Europe, a small country that is called Moldova. And if you guys don't know where Moldova is between Romania and Ukraine. It's a very small country. We used to be part of Romania, so we speak Romanian, but we also used to be part of USSR. So a lot of people my age and older speak very well Russian. I am very proud to be born and, to grow up in a bilingual country. It really helps learning other languages in the future as well. This is where we created Infected Rain. The creators of the band is Vidic, the guitar player, me, and we used to have a DJ. It was the three of us that created Infected Rain back in the end of 2007. Now, in 2008, we had our first show, and that is what we consider the real birthday of Infected Rain. Since then, we have 6 full-length albums. We are signed with Napalm Records. We've played almost everywhere in the world, and we love music. We do what we love. We do what speaks to us. Our music is very emotional, and we do sing in English so everybody can understand us. Other than that, I don't know what else to tell you. Uh, am the singer and the songwriter for Infected Rain, and Infected Rain is my only band. Everything else is either a temporary project or a side project so far, and featuring. I love doing all kinds of cool and fun things with other musicians, but Infected Rain is and always will be my primary baby.
Okay, you actually have a collaboration with a Spanish band that you toured in China recently, Astray Valley, with their super.
Played with them actually. They were with us for a couple of shows in Asia.
Yeah, in China, right?
Yes, right.
I saw it. So I think that Spanish community is a bit familiar with you, but wanted to do like this little introduction so everyone can get to know you. So Lena, I want to ask you about Spain concretely now. You guys are coming in January here. I mean, you're doing the European tour with a Motoculture Festival, I think it's called.
Yes.
And I want to ask you about here in Spain, we have this thing going on that some people tell me, oh, Manel, bands are not coming here at all. Like, European tour usually is like UK. Well, it's not Europe, but France, Germany, Belgium, the Netherlands, and such, right? And most of the bands just go down to Paris and then go upwards, and they don't get to Spain. So 2 questions. First one, why do you think that bands don't usually come to Spain? And second of all, you guys have been in Spain so many times, I would say, or at least many times. What's the thing that you like the most about Spain, Spanish people, and all the stuff?
So yeah, these are two completely different questions, and I have a question before I answer. Do you want me to be honest with you?
100%.
100% honesty is that unfortunately Spain doesn't sell very well.
Okay.
That is reason, and that is the honest reason why bands don't really come to certain countries that don't sell very well. Now, that is not the fault of the people. That is the fault of the economy. The same, I can say, no one ever goes to Moldova. It's the same reason.
Yeah.
Moldova is a bit further, so for people to actually come and play to Moldova, they have to have at least shows somewhere not too far from Moldova, right? Spain, however, is a little closer to Italy, France, and it's a little bit closer to this to Europe. So I'm telling you, honest, this is the cruel reality of the touring. How to say world. The touring world, and in general, the bands. And in the end of the day, it's not the bands. Just so you know, it's not the band that decides, oh, let's never go to this country. It's not really like that. Behind every single band, there is a big team. Normally, it's a booking agent, there is a management, there is a label, there's crew people. There's so many people that need to be paid in order for these shows to pay off. So we have enough money to pay everybody.
Yeah.
The shows people have to come to shows. It's equal. It's sad, but it's true. And in the end of the day, that is the only reason why bands choose to go or not to go to certain countries.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you, ourselves, we never had a sold out show in Spain because that's how it is.
Yeah.
And we accept this reality. We understand it's not the fault of the people. However, I will be honest with you, we had even situations where in Spain, after a show, people will come to the merch booth and try to bargain with you about how much the t-shirt costs or how much your album costs.
I see.
Like you are at a bazaar or something. And they don't understand that by paying 20 euros or 15 euros, I see you. Thank you so much for your support. But they don't understand that by paying whatever it is that they want from the merch. And by the way, it's not mandatory for you to buy anything if you can't afford it. Don't make the artist feel guilty about the prices, because the artist has to pay so many other people, and the artist has to pay for this album to be made. And I'm not trying to complain here. I'm just telling you, you wanted the truth.
Yeah.
This truth. And again, we are not mad at people. We understand. We come from a very poor country, maybe way more poor and way more difficult economically a situation in Moldova in comparison with Spain. Spain is at least part of European community. There are many things in Spain that work way better than in Moldova. But this is the truth. This is the raw reality that people don't want to accept. And they are mad when prices for tickets are high. They are mad when prices for merchandise is high. All that being said, I gotta say, some of the best fucking crowds are in Spain. We love it. We love it. We keep going and we try, of course, to go only when it makes sense geographically, because we do go to other countries that are close to Spain. So we do go to Spain. Even when we are headlining, when we are supporting, we try our best to go to Spain. So next upcoming tour in the beginning of 2025, it's going to be divided in 2 parts. First part is going to be headlined by Infected Rain, and it's going to be like a mini festival with multiple bands, and it will include many cities in Spain. The second part, I believe, has only 1 or 2 cities in Spain, but it will be direct support with the band Helvetii, which is this super awesome band from Switzerland, folk metal.
I know them.
They're great people. It's like nine people on stage, super great show. So I invite everybody to come to both if you can, because it's 2 completely different shows.
Okay.
All right. So this is hopefully answering your first question.
100%.
To answer the second part of the question is, what we love about Spain is how warm people are and how warm the weather is all the time. And we do love the food in Spain very much. I mean, other than that, we didn't really have a lot of time to explore, a lot of time to see much. But we've seen some of the cathedrals, some of the beaches in Spain, and it's just gorgeous.
It is. It's maybe because it's my country, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. It is. It's not my country, and I'm telling you.
And the people, like, maybe the thing that you were saying about people makes it even like heavier coming from a Eastern country, maybe, because Eastern people, I mean, at least from here, we think that they are way colder than us. And
Well, it is true. Normally, that's the general rule is that people from Eastern Europe or even Northern Europe are way colder for their approach. But that doesn't make them bad people. It's just a different approach. Definitely Spanish people, Italian people, even people in Portugal, they're warmer. The warmer the climate, the more you have reason to be happier. Let's be honest. I love the sun. I live in a very warm state in America. I live in Nevada. I live in Las Vegas. We do have our own cold days, but it's always sunny even when it's cold. And it changes your mood. It does. I mean, I do need to feel that sunshine. It makes me feel alive no matter what. It's very hard for me to be in a gloomy weather. Like, I love rain very much, but I wouldn't be able to live in a place where it's raining all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love a good balance between everything. But it's definitely true that generally people that live in warmer countries are more smiley, even if they are more poor than the people that live in Norway. The economy in Norway will never be compared to economy in Moldova or Spain, right?
Yeah.
Of course not. But it doesn't mean that they are not happy people. They just have not a colder approach. They are just different. I don't know. And it's their beauty, actually. I think it's their magic.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say it like in a bad way,
Take it in a bad way. Absolutely. I did take it in a bad way. No. But all I wanted to say is that I travel a lot, and I did live in different other countries, and I do find out that I feel much better in more sunny places, and I do understand why people that come from sunnier countries, sunnier cities or places, they are more sunny, if I may say, as personalities.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes with the weather. Yeah, I think it's like directly related, like you said.
Yeah.
So then I think we have like a fair image of what you think about Spain and like touring and stuff. And I think like getting back what you said, all the pricing thing with the merge and everything, I think it's real. Like here in Spain, and like the wages and everything is lower than Europe. I mean, we're still Europe, but it's like the worst part, we can say, at least economically. So maybe that's why, like here, for example, I was at a show a month ago, and there was like this hoodie. It was $120. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. A hoodie for $120 is a lot even for America, where prices for your salaries are way higher, right? And I totally understand. There's only one thing I don't understand, okay? One thing. And that is, I think, the respect part. The respect part is, in the end of the day, not to bargain with the artist, because the artists have a reason why they put those prices. If we didn't need money to pay our bills, to pay our, next records, to pay our next instrument, to pay people that promote our band, people that create all these tours. They need to be paid too. If we did all that, maybe, just maybe, you would think they would even give them for free. I remember when we were a beginner band, we did not have anything. I worked at 2 jobs to make the first album happen. My other bandmates worked at jobs. We worked for free with Impacted Rain for 8 years. First time ever we took some money as musicians, money that we didn't have to invest right away in something else.
Okay.
Was after 8 years of hard work in a band. 8 years.
It is great.
Do you know what I'm saying? Working for free for 8 years.
Apart from your side job, right?
And I like to have side jobs. How else can you buy food and pay for electricity and stuff? Make it easy. Every musician had to go through this, unless you already come from a rich family or a very good upbringing. Maybe you invested really smartly sometimes in the past, and now you don't have to be worried about it. But let's be honest, that is a very small percentage of musicians.
Super small.
Yeah, okay. So that is the part that I don't understand. What exactly goes through your mind to think that it's okay to bargain with the musician at merge table, or with the guy that is selling it or whatever? The reason I say this is because I was there, because often after the shows I go out to take pictures with people for free. Never ever I insist on them buying anything. I never say, I don't take a picture with you until you buy something. I never say, I don't take a picture with you if you don't pay me for the picture, or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Trying to make a little bit, to give a little bit more than just, merch table show.
Yeah.
Trying that. And people being arrogant and saying, what the hell are these prices? I'll give you $20 for these 2 items. I'm like, what is happening? It's not possible. It's not possible for us to do. And it's so difficult and so
You don't know how to react, right?
for us to, even, what do I do? Should I get mad with that person and say, listen, go to the bazaar and argue about price there? Or should I say, oh, I'm so sorry, we need money to pay our bills? Neither of those is cool to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to say?
I think, Lena, to be honest with you, 100%, like you've been before, I think this has nothing to do with you. Like, no.
I know.
I mean, it's just-
Absolutely a personal idea. What I'm saying is, it could have been a different musician in my place.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not taking it personal. Of course not. I do understand, as an adult person that can do a little bit of logic in the head. I do understand that is the economic situation in the country that makes people do that, maybe without thinking, automatically. He's used to do that because maybe it's normal in this city or in this country. But you think, holy shit, and I can barely pay for gas to be on tour here.
Yeah.
No, or whatever, something like that. So that's all I was trying to say. That's all, just adding to the fact that why not many bands play shows in Spain, or if they do, they have 1 or 2 shows only in bigger cities. That's why. That's the only thing. And hey, let's be honest, that's not just Spain. That's a lot of other countries, that can't afford certain things, and we understand. We just played in Brazil. Brazil is also not doing very, very great economically. Amazing people, though. One of the best crowds that we've encountered. But not many sales, because when it comes to merchandise, because people cannot afford. They will buy 1 item, but they can't buy 3 items. Just because that's the situation. And as an established musician, you have to accept this reality that it's not very pleasant, because it's your job, right? And you always take it personally. You think, oh, maybe they didn't like the show, that's why they didn't buy my CD or something. But why? It's not why, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's more like people like trying to get out like all the bad mood and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's
Of course. And sometimes there are people that can't even afford to buy your ticket to go to the show.
I know.
So I will tell you an example. This example is very much connected to what we are talking about, but it's also a lesson that I've learned years and years ago. Actually, here in Las Vegas, in America, I went to see a show with my friends. I will not say what artist this was because obviously I don't want to say.
Okay.
But it was a show. It was a metal show. The show went quite good, although there wasn't even half of the place filled, which was quite a surprise for me because of who the artist was, and also because it's here in America and people go to shows here. Actually, pretty much they go. It's not that bad. So, but when the show ended, we realized that there was a line to meet the artist. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, that would be cool to meet the artist. And so me and my friends, we get into that line. That was not that long ago. That was 8 years ago.
Okay.
Something like that, 8 years ago. And so I was already an infected rain. I was already a musician, is what I'm trying to say, right?
Okay.
So I was saying this story while we were standing in
In the line.
line for to meet the artist. There were some children, not children, I want to say teenagers, crying, and I couldn't understand why they were crying, right? And apparently, this artist will only meet you for a photo if you buy something from the merchandise, which is everybody's doing their own thing, everybody's doing their own rules. It's totally fine. The only thing that really hit me is apparently these teenagers, they didn't even have money to go to the show. So they were there just hanging out, hoping to see some musicians, and they did not have money. Okay. And it doesn't matter that they come from America or they come from Spain. What I'm saying is, it's a situation that can happen anywhere. I felt very, very bad in that moment. And I learned for myself that, you know, as long as I can, I will never do that. As a musician, I will never expect people to have money. It's amazing and it's a big bonus to be supported and actually to be compensated for your work, for your time, for your art, for your travels. We leave our homes and we break relationships just so we can do our job. It's awesome to see it pay back. But there are exceptions in this reality. There are exceptions from the majority. There are teenagers that don't have money. There are poor countries that don't have enough money. So sometimes certain things can be done, right? So that's why I'm saying it's something I try to do, and it doesn't make me a better musician than the other musician that I went to see. Of course not. But I saw it, I was on the other side, if that makes sense. I was on the side of the supporters that came to the show and all that. So in the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, please don't blame the artist for not coming to your show. Please don't blame the artist for the prices you see. The artists are human beings. They understand your situation and they do what they can. They do what they can based on their possibilities. Sometimes the artist is doing great and they can do more for their fans. Some other years are very rough and we cannot do anything because we can barely pay our bills, as I said, even after years and years. And I'm, again, not trying to complain. I'm not trying to look for any like pity from anyone, because this is my choice, my career choice. And no, it's no one's fault. But it's also no one's fault that you live in a country with lower economics, and these are your possibility. It's each one. We work with our own reality with what we can. That's all I wanted to say, and probably I went a little bit too much into it.
No, I think it's just perfect, Jenna, because I wanted to say you that the thing that you guys do when you come down to the like photo booth or whatever, and you come with Alice now, I think, at least the last time that.
Yeah, when she can, she joins me for 99% of the time now. Yeah.
Which is super cool. And I think it's the first time that I actually saw like an artist like as big as you know what I mean? Like just saying, okay, guys, show is over, whatever, but you can like come meet me outside or in the merch booth or whatever. And I think it's super cool because some people, I think they misunderstand that you're a person. Like before anything else, you're a person, right? And like in your case, I think that you're one of the biggest, we can say, and at least female singers in the scene. And some people see you like a superstar. You know what I mean?
Oh, got it. I understand where you're going. Maybe, yeah, maybe some people do see us as untouchable superstars. Maybe some people think that we are super famous, but in the end of the day, we are just human beings and we understand many things. We do. But we will only be patient as long as there's respect, because among other things, that can happen when you go out, especially after a show. There are other things that we have to be careful about, like personal space, and some things are dangerous. So we try to be careful, and we try to
Being a woman, I would say. It starts like it is.
being women in this industry, being women in general. Let's take away the industry. Being women in general, it's always comes always with like being way more aware than a man should be or could be, right? You have to be aware of your surroundings, aware that no one hugs you weird or kisses you without permission, which is stuff that happens when you go out. And that is why other musicians don't do this, because they don't want to hug sweaty people after the show. They don't want to be talked so close in the face that their spit is on your face all over because they are too drunk to understand that they are too close to you, or stuff like that. Is like,
It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. And this like women thing in metal, I'm not gonna get into it like too deep because I think that we all know what happens with women in metal in general. But I think that it's like necessary to say that you guys are people, wherever you're a man or a girl or wherever, and it's very important to respect. You said it perfectly. I would say it's personal space. You know what I mean? Like we have photos together, and there's no need to like touch each other or whatever. Like it's just a picture. It's just a kind act by you in this case. And I think it's amazing. And people like trying to touch you, whatever, kiss you, whatever the heck they want. I think they make it worse for people like us that we just want to enjoy the music, the show, whatever. And if you hang out with us later, it's awesome.
yeah.
But it's sad, like and in Spain.
It happens in different parts of the world. It's not specific for Spain or anything. I didn't want to sound like, well, this only happens in Spain. No, it happened in Czech Republic. It happened in Germany. It happened even in America. It does that all over the world. People often overconsume alcohol, and they can't control their behavior as well, especially at shows, because people go out, maybe they have hard jobs and they don't really go out often, and they, some. Now, these situations are easily avoidable if you are very open about it. I try to say in advance, guys and girls, this rule is for everybody. If you are polite because you're very, very, how to say, emotional, and if you're polite and you're like, can I please give you a hug? That's one thing, right? Maybe I will even say, yes, of course, give me a hug, because it's such an emotional moment. But if without asking, no one will like that, right? Not even strangers like on the street. So that's the only thing I'm saying.
100%. Yeah. So then I think we have this Spain like topic that I wanted to talk about like pretty clear now. And I got a couple of questions from people in our community here. Do you have
Yes.
Luna there? I think
I have what?
Luna there.
Yes, I was looking at Luna. Over. Come over here, you. Come here, Rose. Oh, come. No, she doesn't want to.
I saw her in Barcelona. She was like getting a walk by, so it was super cool.
Yes, she's always on tour with me. Because I can't survive without her. I need her.
Every time is with you, like all the tours and
Tour besides the tours on specific continents that prohibit me to bring, like, legally. It's not like it's illegal for me to bring her in certain places, but it is insanely difficult when you come back in order for them to clear your animal
I know
from every possible disease. They have to quarantine your animal for many months without stations and everything. So that's very rough. I don't want to do that to my dog. I don't want to do that to myself. So unfortunately, I couldn't bring her to the small tour we had in Australia and in Brazil. But other than that, she's been traveling with me since she was 2 years old, and she's 4 years.
she's saying yes now.
Yeah, she's Mom, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so Lena, I got like I was saying, a couple of questions from people in our community, and the first one, it's about inspiration. I got many questions about that, but when you have like you said like 7 albums full length, no, six, right? And there was like these guys asking me like, how do you come with inspiration every time? Like, and I always say that Infected Brain for me, apart from the music and your voice and everything, it has like the one of the deepest meanings when it comes to lyrics, right?
Thank you.
And I think you guys like put a lot of effort. I know that you and Vidic are the main writers and composers, as far as I
Yes, Dick is the main musical instrumental. So what we were saying about the composing, the composing part. When it comes to my lyrics, let's start there. I can only speak about myself, and when it comes to music, I invite you to interview Vidic about it. That comes to lyrics, it is very simple in my case. Basically, what it is I have notebooks, different notebooks. For example, this one, where I write things down, and I have my phone, and I put notes almost every day there. So would say that it means that I put small ideas. Now I often sit down and I'm in the mood of developing these ideas. I go through them. That is one case scenario. The second option, which is something that happens pretty often, is specifically and directly connected with something that happens in my life. Because I write mainly about my own ups and downs in life, my own emotions, and the way I feel about things, right? So that's very often you will feel like my lyrics are so deep because I write about my personal life experience, my personal situations, and my personal fears, and beliefs. So I actually started doing that when I was 14. And I was a teenager, and with my best friend from school, we started writing little poems in Russian. And I was writing them and give it to her to read, and she would write her own and give it to me to read. And literally no one else could read our poems, only us. I still have that little notebook from when I was in school, and I have like certain poems that are finished from then. Maybe one day I will do something with it. I don't know, but I kept it, right? Since then, I found it so useful to write down my ideas, my frustration, my pain. Why? Because it's almost like a way to talk to a friend. It's almost like a way to say out loud what is happening inside. And maybe even better than to tell to somebody because you're honest with yourself. You are not afraid to be judged for being weak or for making a mistake or for feeling the way you feel, right? you don't feel judged because it's just between you and you. And you write it down. Maybe no one will ever read it. Maybe someone will one day read it. And when I started singing in Infected Rain, we didn't even have a band name at the time. We were just doing a couple of cover songs. And then Betty was like, I have this song that I did long ago and I revisited, and this is what came out. I think it's time for us to do our own music. And he's like, do you think you can write for it? And I already started writing in English because I was doing languages in the university. So I loved putting ideas down in English as well. And I had a few things written in Italian as well because I did university in Italy. My family lives in Italy. So I was like, to be honest with you, I think I do have some ideas for the song because I have something put together. In fact, the very first single for Infected Rain is for the song called Judgmental Trap.
No.
Judge Trap. For Judgmental Trap lyrics, I used a poem I wrote a while ago about the war that was going on at the time when I was in the university first year. I changed many things about it. I changed certain parts, I added certain parts, and I kept a lot. So this is when it was really clear to me that this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this habit I had to write things down. I'm gonna use it to my profit. Let's say that to my help with Infected Rain, and that's exactly what I do. I just put ideas down, and when I say I put ideas down, I literally get inspired by the simplest things in life. And that brings us directly to this question. Even a movie can inspire me, another song can inspire me, or a band can inspire me. But the majority of the time, what inspires me to write and to speak up and sing about it is life and all the ups and downs that we go through every single day, you know? And I come from not a very easy upbringing, not a very easy as I mentioned, economics in the country, and not many things were given to me. I had to like start working very early, understand things very early in life and all that. So so that is something I read about. That is something that I want to speak up about, and I love music and I love art. I love movies and get inspired by them. I often watch a movie and I have to pause it to write down something small that I saw in that movie, starting with the concept, the continuing with an outfit that I loved,
Yeah.
or a some colors, or some uh, anything, anything really. And to be honest with you, I think that anyone can do that. It's not a special gift. It is just learning to pay attention a little bit more to details. Makes sense. That can help in life, but that can sometimes not be that helpful in life.
Yeah.
In life, when you notice too many things.
If you look around enough, it makes you mad, but we get it.
Know what I mean? So this is the most direct way I can answer this question.
It's just perfect. And talking about inspirations, that's my question. But what's your biggest inspiration when it comes to singers? Because I think you have like a super unique voice, I would say.
Thank you.
Because I don't feel like remembering someone that sounds similar to you. But what would you say?
That's very good because I don't want to sound like anybody. I'm not trying to sound like anybody.
Oh.
And no one should try to sound like anybody. Everybody should try to sound like themselves. And that is the best lesson I've ever learned from my vocal teacher. Not that I've ever tried to sound like somebody specifically, but I did always look up to other musicians and be like, oh my God, I wish I was able to do this. I wish I was able to do that. But in reality, you don't have to wish to be able to do something. Just train and do something different or something similar your own way. So I don't really have something that is like influencing my vocals. But I do, of course, have inspiration, great inspirations from older music, from most newer music. And I'm not only talking about metal specifically, I'm talking about music in general. I love to hear the amazing, crazy talent of Bjork, for example.
Okay.
I absolutely love Amy Winehouse and Sade. It has a special place in my heart, and that's only to mention a couple women. I'm not only listening to women, of course not. I one of my favorites is Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson. If we are not talking about metal, if we are talking about metal, of course, the era I grew up in. And the all the kids my generation, we grew up listening to Nirvana, and then later on the new metal bands, and then later on everything else, slowly discovering more and more. And I love heavier sounding bands like Lorna Shore, or like Lock Tongue, or Tired as Murder. It all depends on the mood, like I can go on and on about this. My playlist is very diverse, and I think music is very important. And literally before me and you started this interview, and I was just working, I was just listening to instrumental jazz music. So it all depends on my mood.
Yeah, you're just a music lover in general, right? And you enjoy music, and yeah, like we do, I think all of us here. And another question from the people watching this: do you are like super fit? And I see you guys in concert, and the energy is crazy. I don't know, like you especially, and Vidic, like he starts spinning with a guitar and everything, and with the dredge and everything. And I was like, oh my god, like just keeping this for an hour for me, it's a real. Not even mentioning that you guys do this like on a regular basis, like nights,
Yeah.
like back to back nights, and even like I don't know, maybe a week full of shows. How do you guys keep yourself up? Like for making, at least every time I saw you, the energy was the same. Like there was no difference.
We try to give the same energy no matter where we play. It's a festival, like you said, you discovered us at a big, big festival in Spain, and then you saw us in club shows. It is true that we try our best to give the same type of, like energy and the same type of emotion to whatever the size of crowd is. Now, I wouldn't call myself to be very fit as of lately, because I had to stop a certain type of exercises that I was doing before.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there were a few things with my health that had to like make me stop like constantly training. But of course, when I'm on tour, I'm at my top, most fit. Uh, Definitely. Now that is just practice. Really, it's literally like picking up a sport. That is some sort of a sport for us, because in the best way possible, like in the best way possible. The reason we decided that moving on stage is so important is because of all the bands that we've seen growing up, and how much they would move on stage, and how much they would deliver not only through words but also through movement. And I think it's only fair, if you're asking your crowd to jump, or if you're asking your crowd to be energetic, then you should give at least some sort of energy from the stage as much as you can physically, because of course sometimes there's your age. We have a lot of musicians that are on stage way after 55, 60 years old, and they obviously cannot move like a 20-year-old.
But they still.
Of course, there are many, many factors that can be in the way, but doing your best to encourage your crowd to give you back some energy, you have to give some first. So that is part of it for sure. And it makes it so much more like you're not there just with your mind, you're there with your body as well. So body and mind involved in the show is completely different show for sure. Now, to be able to maintain this, you do have to try your best and be nice to your body. So when I say that, I mean, get some good rest after every single show, no matter how difficult it is for you to fall asleep. Sleep during the day if you didn't sleep enough in the night. Eat healthy. Stop with all this bullshit, fried food and fast food and greasy food, because all that
This shit.
will is
Kind of.
if you want to eat that in everyday life, it's your choice. But if you want to have enough energy to put on a show, it's like you can't eat all that junk and go to a and to run kilometers, right? You can't, because you have to do cardio, and you might risk to have a heart attack with all the greasy shit you ate, and now springing like you're 20, you know? So what I'm trying to say is that just be nice to your body, listen to your body, stretch before every single show, and after the first week, it will be like you doing this forever. Because every tour has this first week of getting used to. We also have muscle pain after the show, and we're like, oh my god, my back, oh my god, my neck.
Yeah, everything hurts. Yeah.
Of course. But if you are aware of your body, and you're listening to your body, and you stretch, and you don't eat junk, and you don't party all night, and all that kind of stuff that people think metalheads do,
Yeah.
if you don't do all that, you are able to have a great show every single day. You are.
It's all about habits, right?
It's all about habit, like with every single thing.
Yep. 100%. Okay, Lena. So now another personal question from me. What would you say is your favorite record from Infected Rain? And if you can be more specific, with your favorite song from the band?
Oof, that is very tough. And I don't know why everybody is asking that. I mean, I know why. You know what? I will be honest with you. I think that our best record and the closest to my emotional state.
Maybe say yeah, Lena. Not the best, like music,
Yeah.
like the one that means the most to you.
Okay, the one that means
Yeah.
so. If we are talking about the closest album, I think it's emotionally connected to me at the moment. Um, it is definitely the album Time.
Okay.
The reason for that, I have two reasons. Main reason is because it is our first album that we have with our new lineup on stage with the new musician. And I feel like with this change in the band and with this album, we somehow entered a different era, if that makes sense. Like, just like, okay, you know, two members of the band are not in the band anymore, and that's not just one, that's two, that's almost half of the band. That it was a big change emotionally, and a big change like for our career in general. So it is very important for us to feel this good balance, this good working balance in the band. And that's something that we didn't have as of lately together, just because of our differences, right? And now we feel it again. And that is so inspiring. That is so driven by like it drives you. It's not driven. It drives you to do more, to want more, to achieve more. So now that is one of the reasons. Second reason is also because I feel like with this album I revisited um certain scars of mine that I thought were um long healed and long revisited, and yeah, I had more to say apparently about that. And life is just a continuous lesson, and I've learned that for as long as it hurts, it doesn't matter that it's been 10 years, 15 years, 1 year, or it happened yesterday. It doesn't matter.
No, that's
Some
super true.
just older scar can hurt more than something that happened just yesterday, because you had more time to realize it, to breathe it in, and even and to work with it. And if it still hurts, it means that it was quite deep. So that is one. Secondly, I feel like I had so much to say especially after this change in the band. So that's why I feel like with album time, I feel the most connected at the moment. But that doesn't mean that I don't love the previous albums. Well, I think that the previous albums could have been done differently nowadays. Of course, when we recorded the first album, it was 2000. No, when we released the first album, it was 2011. We recorded it in 2010. So we're talking about almost the 15 years of difference. Of course, I'm a different person and different musician, a different
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, we are different even one day in comparison of the other day. Imagine 15 years. So, of course, but instead of thinking of how I could have done things differently in the past, I'm just going to hold my energy and keep it for the next album.
I think that's the best thing you can do, but not only with the albums, but with life in general. Like you said, like it's not the same Lena or Manel that
Yep.
15 years ago, even like yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think, and I got a song, like the Mold song from the album 86.
Yeah.
The song got me like crazy.
Really.
When when I feel live, it was like super cool for me. And then I was like, let me check the lyrics like closely. And I was like, oh wow, it could be me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, absolutely. It could be any of us in certain time of our life.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I think it's the best thing when you connect with a band or someone in this case, like in a personal level, but like not knowing each other, but knowing that if you wrote this song, is because I can assume that you got through something similar than me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that is the beauty of music. I feel the same way with other musicians. I remember that sensation since I was a teenager and I started actually listening and actually getting curious about lyrics, about the music I'm listening. I'm like, I love this song. I want to know what he is talking about. I'm curious about that.
And especially, I would say in metal, like in your case, for example, when you scream, when you do the screams, if you know the lyrics, sometimes they are related, like the way you scream with the word or the phrase you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And it gets more emotional to me, at least.
Yes, absolutely. Of course. It's gonna be a different kind of like perception. It's all about perception, right? So take take two different people and put them in different rooms and tell to one, you know, I told you that this friend of yours will betray you in the end. Nicely, yes, with the voice. If you say to the person in the other room, it's just like an experiment with the emotion that you can do in metal with harsher vocals. If you say the same thing, the same words like that, it will fucking hurt. And that person will be like, oh my God, this girl hates me. But he will remember. He will, or she, that person X, will remember that even that situation was, even though it felt like negative, because a lot of people associate screaming with something negative. Now try to associate screaming with something positive, something that is trying to wake you up so you can see the reality. That's how things work. And trust me, I'm considering myself to be an advocate of approaching things nicely. But me myself, I make this mistake, and often in public with complete strangers, I can say something and be like, "Oh, that was quite rude. I think I was rude." I'm a human being. I make mistakes, and often I'm frustrated for other things. And then this person doesn't even know I'm frustrated with other things, like in airports, for example. You're already so late, and you maybe not make it to the next flight, and this person decides to check on your bag for the third time already.
Yeah.
Other two people already did, and I can't stop by wondering, don't you communicate with each other? You work in the same airport. I'm gonna miss a flight because you decided that I have tattoos and you have to triple check me just in case I don't have drugs.
Does this still happen to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single time. So of course I'm gonna lose my shit, or something else in the airport where no one speaks English, and they work in an international airport and they don't speak English, and you are in a hurry, and you're like, you work in the airport, you don't speak English?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I wish I understood all the languages on the planet, but I don't.
It's impossible.
So it is frustrating for me that in a country that I don't speak the language, in the international airport, I'm getting harassed and or fooled, and it's my personal space, and I getting anxious, and I might answer badly.
Yeah.
Of course I might. Of course. Maybe I'm the only one. Am I proud of it? I'm not fucking proud of it. And I'm trying my best to always be nice no matter what, and explain to people, because people sometimes don't even understand that they've been rude to you. Like even in my personal life relationship with my friends, if I always say, I'm sorry for my bad language, but I say, guys, if I fuck up, tell me nicely if you care for me, because maybe I don't even know I fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't even know, right? So that is only to give you an example of anything can be explained in different ways. And through metal, we add that emphasis and we add that emotion through the screaming, through the higher notes, through the lower notes, or whatever, the music, the guitar, everything, just so we can be heard.
That's the perfect definition, I would say. And I got a last question. I know that you talked about like lots of times, but talking about tattoos and everything, I have this theory where I say that the most tattooed people are usually the nicest people.
I will be honest with you. I never encountered very bad or aggressive people that were covered in tattoos. I think your tattoos or what you're wearing or how you look defines you. There are so many assholes that look like normal people.
Yeah.
And vice versa, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, oh, now because people love art, they get tattooed, they are more humble. It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
But
I always say that there are more assholes wearing a suit than wearing tattoos.
it is probably right. It is probably
I mean, when you see like yourself, for example, lots of people tell me that, oh, the girl with the threads and tattoos and everything. But I always say like you have to look like, I mean, it's obviously art, I think, in your case, and it looks awesome. I have to say, like when I saw you without the neck piece and with the neck piece, I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? But in a good way, like
I can. I understand it's a lot. You know, I was the work I was doing previously to becoming a musician was connected to the beauty industry. I was a hair and makeup artist. I always loved to look a little bit more different, especially coming from such a um, small country of Eastern Europe.
had to, it's had to be really hard, right? Like being, yeah.
Every single time I go to Moldova, even now, the people pointing the finger at me. There are people that make like fuss.
Like pointing at you, like literally.
Yeah, literally. And don't get me wrong, hey, that's not their fault. Again, I might get mad sometimes and upset, but that is literally not their fault. People, older generation that comes from Eastern Europe, whether it is Ukraine, Russia, Moldova, Romania, even Poland, and not only Eastern Europe, some people in Asia as well.
And here in Spain too, and like
In Asia, some people in Europe, the older generation in places like Italy or Spain or France, older generation, they don't accept it. Now, do they point the finger? No. But people are judging the world through different filters.
yeah.
Those filters are built up throughout life experience. All those older generation people that I'm talking about, they did not have the experience that me and you have in this newer world, a newer generation that travels more and it's more accepted and open-minded when it comes to how people look. It is not necessary for me to explain to somebody your age that this is not what defines me. This is just something I feel, and this is just something I connect with.
Yeah.
And the same way, I would say that it does not define you, like where you come from, your color of your skin, your religious beliefs,
Political tendencies. Yeah.
political beliefs. It doesn't define you. We are all the same. We are one race, so called. It shouldn't be all different races. It's all one. And this is also something connected to that. It won't be called racism if you point a finger at me and you tell me that I am somebody bad. But it's still very discriminating. And unfortunately, that is very discriminating when it comes to certain jobs. Now, my previous job did not really dictate how I look. The more unusual I look, the better, right? I mean, it's more interesting to go to a hair and makeup artist that does look interesting, even if it's not necessarily like me, right?
Not
But
like special or whatever.
more expressive. It's more like it's more fun. You're like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, what is this person gonna do to me? Like let's see, right? Or if you go to someone that is very like conservative and will only like maybe approach you with the same conservative approach. Now, if you are a very conservative person and that's what you want, this is your person for sure. No judgment there. But like we have this in the music industry too. We have so many musicians that have zero tattoos. That doesn't make them a less cool musicians or less true metalheads. My band, like, only me and Vidik used to have tattoos. Now Alice also has one sleeve that she wants more. Eugene, zero tattoos, for example. He looks like absolutely normal, ordinary, like, which is nothing wrong with that. Like, there is nothing wrong with it.
It's a proper person.
So very ordinary, and I do my hair very classy, and I cover a little bit my tattoos, and it all depends on the mood and where I go. I try to be respectful to the place I go and stuff like that, you know.
And with this kind of interview, I think that people like can try to get to know you, and like maybe I have some people following me that are a bit, how can we say it, like, yeah, all-minded, because I only talk about modern metal, so people follow me because they don't know anything about modern metal. They just stuck with Iron Maiden and Metallica and whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I think that helps them like to get to know someone that is like this. I would say special because you look special. You know what I mean? Like, I know that it's you.
I definitely look different, and I do realize that. That's why, in a good state of mind, I don't even take it personal when things like that happen to me. If I'm already upset. If I'm already upset with certain things in life and that adds to my, bad mood, then of course I will be like, really? Like, really? You probably are younger than me or something, because often people don't even know how old I am. And they think that you're a criminal and that probably been in jail and do drugs and whatever. It's already funny. It's kind of funny already. It's just like, really?
I don't see the funny part in pointing out someone. You know what I mean?
No, that part is quite upsetting. But as I said, I try my best to be understanding about this because we've just been to China, and for example, Alice told me that an older lady that was not that old, she was like, maybe she's younger than my mom. She literally went there and like slapped her arm that had tattooed and told her words in Chinese for telling her words about her tattoo, and she was just a customer in her store.
Yeah.
She wasn't like her close friend or anybody, like she was there selling something in a store, and Alice came in and she was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong?
Not nothing, but yeah, maybe China is that different, like from like, let's say, Western culture and everything, that maybe they are not even used to like this kind of sleeves and everything.
I think it's tattoos mean a little bit different things in Asia. And maybe because of that, we don't know that much about Asian culture because it's not really that open for us to follow. They have their own social media, they have their own TV shows, their own movies, and very little from this world gets in and very little from their world comes out to us. So it's quite hard to pinpoint here what's the actual situation.
No, that's true. That's true. Okay, Lena, so I think that's been an awesome time. We've been here for an hour and 3 minutes.
Yes, thank you so much. And I'm so sorry we had to interrupt this twice.
No problem at all. So yeah, we'll see you in June in Barcelona. You guys are coming to Madrid.
And doing this and spreading the word. Thank you.
No problem, Lena. Amigos, amigas, esto ha sido Lena Scissorhands aquí en Espero, disfrutéis. Esto es una locura completamente, ¿vale? Así que nada, si os ha gustado, buen me gusta, comentarios y como siempre...
And most bleed.
Oh.
Did you see that?